Hey everyone, it's Megan the Crafty Quinn here, and today I have for you some Etsy high-end dupes that I'm doing for a room-by-room playlist hosted monthly by the Freckled Mom DIY. So excited to show you, so let's get started. So first, I'm going to be making a dupe of this craft, this carrot craft that I saw on Etsy. So today, I am showcasing all Etsy shops as my place that I'm duping things from. And all of these Etsy shops, I'm going to have all of them linked down below. But I thought it was important to do some dupes from some Etsy shops just to showcase some small businesses. So, like I said, I'm going to have all of their shops linked down in my description below. And with this first DIY, basically this is everything that you need right here. If you, I had to include this. It was just so cute because Marcus finally decided to take some interest in my in my crafting again because it's been a while. And him lurking in my videos, him messing around with my craft supplies, that is how he got his name, the Crafty Kitty. So he is really staying true to his name in this video. So it's just nice to see him taking an interest again. And if you guys have been Marcus fans for a while and you've missed seeing him in my videos, this is for you guys especially. So enjoy the video. So first, I kind of took a quicker route to paint all of these beads because I just had so many to paint, and I was also trying to keep them organized, so I thought placing each carrot's beads in a bag with orange paint would be a good solution. And ultimately I kind of regretted doing this way later because I know I was trying to save time this way, but the paint really got clumpy, so I do not recommend doing it that way unless you're like me and you were just trying to get it done quickly. But I ended up having to repaint some of the beads anyway, so yeah, you just kind of have to pick your battles, I guess. But yeah, this is typically how I would do it. I would just put a little tiny bit of paint to start in the sandwich bag, and then if it didn't seem like it was enough, I would just keep adding more and keep adding more. So I thought this was a really cute DIY to dupe and, well, decor piece to dupe, and what's fun about this video is I kind of took it as a challenge of like, okay, how did they make this? How do I think I can make this come out looking like they did? So it was kind of a challenge to figure out how they did this. So what I found to be easier was to just load up the beads onto the twine string because I noticed that these beaded carrots were being held together by twine. So I just loaded them up in the order that I wanted the size of the beads to appear. So I have about 6 or 7 beads here. And I do have a smaller bead, which is the very stem of the carrot, which I thought is a cool look. I actually added one more, so I think that brings it up to 7 beads now for this decor piece. And so what you do is you just keep tying a knot on the end of your string until the bead can't fall off anymore. Next, I took some Dollar Tree green raffia, and I decided to take some twine and just keep wrapping it and keep wrapping it. So the raffia was doubled up, and then I just wrapped the twine around it until I felt like it was being held together enough. And then I cut each end of the raffia so that there were no longer loops at the top. The loops were just at the bottom. But then the challenge presented itself of how do I put the stem of this green raffia onto this carrot? How do I get it to stay? So I was really racking my brain trying to figure out how to do this. I'm sure there's like a million other solutions that you guys can think of, but what I came up with was to use a toothpick because I realized by using a toothpick I could feed it through the beads, and that way it would hold it. I would hold it up and it would stay kind of straight inside of the beads as well. So I'll show you what I did. So I stuck the toothpick, hopefully you guys can see this and it doesn't get cut off, but I stuck the toothpick with a little bit of hot glue on it inside the bottom of the doubled up raffia, and then I noticed that I can put some hot glue on the very bottom of that doubled up raffia, which will hold it to the top of the top bead. And then I put hot glue on the rest of the toothpick to get it to stick inside the beads. So let me tell you guys, this worked like a charm. I don't know how the Etsy shop owner created these originally, but this worked, you guys. So I was like, problem solved. So it really was just that easy. And then that string that I left hanging out after I cut it off from the twine, I just used it to wrap around the rest of the carrot. And that's really all it is. And I feel like it kind of gives it more of that rustic look. So my dupes today are kind of like rustic high-end farmhouse dupes, I guess. So next I took some Dollar Tree gingham farmhouse ribbon, whatever you want to call it, and I just tied a bow around the stem of the carrot. But I have to say, I really love how these turned out. These were one of my favorite projects from today, but I really loved most of my projects today. There was one that maybe you guys will think is a fail, but I don't know. So I didn't hot glue this or anything. I just decided to tie a cute little bow on this. And it's just a super simple DIY, and I can't wait to load this up on a tiered tray. I'm not doing any room decorating with this today because I felt like a lot of the items that I were making were kind of like for a tiered tray, but my tiered tray is currently still filled up with all of my Valentine's Day decor from my Valentine's Day video. Excuse me. So this is going to go into a Easter themed tiered tray eventually, and I'm planning to make a video for that as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. So next I actually took some Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just taking the excess off my brush, drawing some X's. But I thought, you know what? Let me put my own unique spin on this, and I'm gonna make the carrots look like they just got pulled from the ground. So I kind of made the carrots look a little muddy. I thought it was a neat idea to just kind of take it one step further and make them look even more realistic. So I think I ended up maybe taking off too much of the wax. Maybe I should have left more wax on. Maybe I'll wax more on later, but it's just so funny. I kept saying to myself, wax on, wax off. The whole time I'm putting the wax on and then I'm taking it off with the paper towel. That's all I could think. Wax on, wax off. I don't know if you guys also thought the same thing, but I just had a chuckle to myself about it. I thought it was pretty funny. So here is how they turned out, and I think I will go add more wax to this, but I really loved how they turned out. And then here's how they look compared to the original. So I think I duped this a little too well, you guys. So that's why I wanted to add my own spin to this as well. So like I said, this is for the High-End Dupes playlist. This is an open playlist hosted monthly by Freckled Mom DIY. So please go check her out. Like I said, she does these monthly. So definitely check out her decor is awesome. She does thrift flips, all kinds of Dollar Tree decor too. And sorry, we're already on to the next craft here, but I am going to be making the book stack that you just saw on that little screenshot. So this is one of Dollar Tree's Valentine's Day book stacks. And so for this, I actually finally found them for the first time this whole Valentine's Day decor season. I finally found them, so I grabbed two, so I'm gonna make another one at some point. But this is my first book stack craft. I don't think I've ever made one before. Well, yeah, I don't think I've made one. Maybe you guys can tell me. Maybe if you guys have been watching me for a while, maybe you guys remember. But anyway, I'm excited to do this one. And so I'm kind of, this one I definitely took in a very, very different direction. So for this DIY, it's more of an Etsy inspired dupe rather than a dupe, but I thought it was cute. So as you can tell, I just took my Cricut and I printed out these words in the American typewriter font. And the white paint that I used was Waverly's white chalk paint. So I'm taking more of this Dollar Tree farmhouse ribbon. I use this a lot in today's video. And I just literally just wrapped it around the book stack and just glued it. And then I decided to add a bow because I thought it would look really cute in the middle. But the way I make bows, I kind of make them in a way where you kind of have to put a button in the middle. Otherwise it just looks like it could fall apart. So I just trimmed off the edges here. And I did eventually make the edges of this ribbon just a tiny bit shorter. I felt like they stuck out a little too much. But like I said, I did add a button. So these tiny little wooden carrots, oh my gosh, you guys, I just found these at Dollar Tree. They are part of their brand new Easter decor items. If you guys were following me on Instagram, or maybe you saw my post on my community tab of my channel, I just found these the other day and I was sharing them with you guys. So this is how I'm using them, and I'm really excited to be able to start using them. So I took a pencil and I drew some kind of curved lines a little bit because I wanted it to look like a real carrot, like the lines that you see on carrots. So that I just used some pencil to make a finer detail on these carrots before gluing them on. So you can really see it well on the carrot to the left, but I feel like you can't really see it as well on this little carrot. But all you need to do is take a pencil So this is actually the Celery Waverly chalk paint color, and the other color is just a plain orange from Folk Art that I'm using for these little carrots. I just think it's funny that I'm using a celery paint color to paint a carrot. Oh my gosh, I had to chuckle about that too. But anyway, these were such fun crafts, you guys. You guys definitely check out the playlist and see what other dupes everyone else came up with. So I had all of this white space on my book stack, so I thought these carrots would make a great addition to just the middle of the book stack. So I'm just kind of lining up where I want them to be, and then I'm going to hot glue them down. And now, when I glued this down, I'm like, oh man, this looks great. But the thing is, it looked too perfect to me. Like, it just needed to be more rustic, it needed to be more farmhousey, so yeah, that's my word, farmhousey. So I'm gonna make this a little bit more rustic, and I'm taking the antique wax with a very fine tipped, tiny little paintbrush, and I'm just tracing it literally along the inside the lines and inside the edges of this book stack. So I tried to get not too much onto my brush because it can easily go off the rails there if you're not careful. So I just tried to trace in the line. And if it goes a little over, that's fine too, right? Because we are going for that rustic, old vintage look. And here's where the part gets fun with the distressing. So then I take a stencil brush and I just get a tiny bit of wax on that brush, and then I just kind of drag it along the side of the book stack, and it comes out looking like this. And maybe this one's my favorite project. I don't know. I really, really like this one. So this was the original that inspired me, and this is how mine turned out from the Bay Country Craft Shop on Etsy. That's where I got that from. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at the Crafty Quinn. And if you haven't, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you like any of the DIYs that you see in today's video. It really means a lot to us, and it helps our channel grow. So for this next one, guys, okay, I was obsessed with, with the way that this craft turned out. So this is my inspiration, and this is actually a piece of wood that I got from Dollar Tree a while ago when they still had these slabs of wood randomly in their Crafter Square section. I grabbed a bunch of those when I saw them because you just never know how long things are going to stick around at Dollar Tree. You really don't. So I grabbed a few, and they've just been sitting in my craft room waiting for me to do something with them, and I'm just so glad I finally get to use them. So as you can tell, I stained this board with the Waverly Antique Wax, and I used a makeup wipe to help spread the wax around better because I just really like how it gives more of an even distribution of the antique wax from Waverly. And this is a foam bunny cutout that I got from last year's Easter decor at Dollar Tree. And I used double-sided tape to hold down this foam bunny. It worked extremely well. And then I basically just painted over it. I painted on top of it. And by doing this, it left a nice outline of a bunny. And I didn't think this was going to work, you guys. I was really worried it wasn't, because I thought the double-sided tape would move or something would just, you know, shift and totally mess up the shape. But it worked out really well. So I'm just really proud of how this project came out. So when you're done painting it, all you got to do is just lift it up. And now time for the big reveal. There we go. Almost. There we go. Look how cute. So next I just replaced my finger sander sandpaper sheet because I got way too much glitter on it from taking the glitter off the bunny before I did this. And so once I had a new sheet on there, then I took my finger sander, and this is what made it look like old barn wood. I just gently went over it, and because I had stained the board before I painted it and I didn't do like a really thick layer of paint, it was really easy to kind of strip the paint off and make it look like it had been taken from an old barn. So you just kind of gently take your finger sander over that. And if you don't have a finger sander already, I can help you out. I have a link down for you below. What are you waiting for? Get one of these. It's really, really fun to make rustic projects with, I'll say that. So next, I just wrapped some twine just around the top. I tried to make it look as close to the original as possible, but I definitely took it in my own direction. I kind of put a spin on things, but that's just who I am. Maybe I don't like to dupe things, you know, completely. I like to really put my own spin on it. So that's why dupe videos are always difficult for me, you guys. So next I layered up some ribbon. I mean, you just put it in an X shape and you just kind of lay things like, okay, if one piece of ribbon is covering the other, then you got to shift it. You kind of move it so that every single piece of ribbon and burlap is exposed and kind of gets its own little show there. So that's kind of how I do that. And then I just tie it together with some twine. And then I like to add a little button. So it's almost finished. I was going to leave it like this, but I added a little cotton ball as a tail. And then I think now it's perfect. I'm obsessed with this, you guys. And this was my original inspiration for this dupe from Etsy, from the shop Blooming on Ethan. And like I said, I'm going to link all the shops below too. So last one. Okay, I think this one, this is from Santa's Christmas World, the Etsy shop. I think I did a DIY fail. But you guys can tell me. I don't know. But to me, I don't know. I didn't have the best wooden crate, I guess, to work with this one. So, you know, it is what it is. But I took 2 popsicle sticks and I hot glued them together kind of on an angle because, you know, you want to make the bunny ears look kind of close but kind of also far, like a little far apart at the same time, if that makes sense. And then I took a tiny brush and I used some very light pink paint that I found at Michael's. But the color of the bunny, the paint that I used for that is Waverly's Plaster color. And I really like it because it's more of an ivory tone. And that to me just really matched the original Etsy decor piece that I'm going for. So I thought this was the closest in color for sure. And it makes me wonder if they actually use this color too. But I think it came out really, really close to the original in color anyway. Everything else, not so much. But anyway, I took a wooden star that I got from Dollar Tree a long time ago, back when they had, you know, 4th of July stuff out. But they actually do sell wooden stars from time to time in their Crafter Square section. It's in it like a multi-pack with like a couple other shapes, like a heart and a flower. It's in a 3-pack of that. You'll see it. But I decided to kind of cut out like a triangle. And that's what they did for the nose. So this was really the best way to get that shape. So I'm using that same pink color that I used on the ears with a very, very tiny brush. So that is obviously the nose of the bunny. And then, so I had difficulty with the ears, as you can tell. I kept taking them out, putting them back in, and eventually I did not glue down the ears because when you sit the ears in the handle of this crate, they kind of move back and forth. They kind of swing back and forth, and they look like bunny ears are moving. So I thought that was a really cool effect. So I decided to leave it and not hot glue it down. Besides, this is just for me anyway. It's just gonna go on one of my shelves in my house. So I'm not planning to sell this. It's a fun little craft. So I took some Waverly ink colored black paint for the eyes and just drew them freehand. And then I hot glued down the nose, but I messed it up a lot. So I ended up having to take it off and then cut it down a little bit more because I kind of broke off the end of the nose a little bit. So I kind of had to make it smaller by cutting it down just to fix the end that was broken off. And then the last step here really is just adding, well, second to last step is really just adding your antique Waverly wax to distress it with a stencil brush. And so that's really all I did. I mean, I tried to get it as close to the original as possible, but like I said, I'm not working with the same type of crate with the slats in between that they were. This is more like this, and it kind of, these are what people like to use for book stacks actually. So if you can't find those Valentine's Day book stacks, a lot of people use these as a book stack dupe, I guess you could say. And it definitely, I think it definitely does give the appearance of that. So you kind of want to just brush it along the edges like that. Really outlines the shape of the bunny, nice. And then I just doubled up a bunch of just plain regular raffia and made a little bow. You literally just double it and double it and double it. You just take a really long piece and then you just keep doubling it, and then you take one of those strands and just wrap it around the middle, and you basically have a bow tie. So that's how I do it. I thought it'd be cute to add a little bow to the bottom of this bunny, so it's not going to look much like the original. I guess we'll see, but like I said, I'm not sure if this is a fail or not. I'm not sure how I feel about this bunny. Let me know what you guys think, if I mess this up or not, but this is what it's supposed to look like. So make sure to check out all of these Etsy shops that I've listed down below. Make sure to support small businesses, and please check out the playlist. I have that link down for you below as well. And if you want to watch more videos, check them out here on the left. Thank you guys so much, and let's keep in touch on Instagram. Bye!